If you've ever been overly excited for the start of the NFL football season, which is tonight, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. We are back. Before we get to football, we've got some market action that we need to take care of. But 13's in the back. We're going to go ahead and get it. Go Bears.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. Carmen, hello. Alex, Market Sniper, Elon, Bax, hello. Great to have all of you folks here. Let's go ahead. Morning Shaka, AC 2000, and everybody else that I can't get to here. Welcome. Good morning. Let's go ahead and bring on 13. 13. First of all, how are you? Yeah, baby. Yeah, we have half. It is actually pretty awesome. We have half of the NFC North, which might be the best division in football. We have half of it represented right here. And I know there are some fans of the Lions and the Vikings in this chat. So I think our show accurately represents the NFC North, and I will take that. Are you excited for tonight?
I'm excited to find out who's going to be king of the North this season. But yes,
I am too. I think there's going to be a changing of the guard, but we will see. Looks like there's an overabundance of Packer fans here in the chat, at least.
I'm
so
here
far.
for it.
I love you all anyway. Don't worry. Wiss saying that the Falcons are going to shock. Yo, Wiss, that's actually not a joke. Also, I do think Bijan Robinson has the possibility of being one of the best players in football this year. So really excited about that. But we are going to go ahead and get down into the market. We're going to start with the SPY. Oh, I got to bring my screen up here. Shame on me. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about, we could bounce here. What I said on Happy Hour when I finished yesterday was that the big takeaway for me was that clearly yesterday the market tried to bounce. We were a little bit lower in the pre-market. We actually came up off those lows towards the opening bell. And then when the bell opened, this market tried to bounce. We tried to recapture some of the down move from the day prior. But at about, 10:30-ish Eastern time, actually maybe 11:30 Eastern time. What time do I have? Yeah, I have my charts here set to Central time. Apologize. 11:30 Eastern time, we really just kind of sold off the rest of the day. This morning, we are holding here just about flat. I guess technically we're slightly lower, but I consider this just about flat. I kind of think, my gut tells me that we probably trade down and maybe test some of those lows tomorrow. 13, what do you think here in terms of where we're going here today? I know it's always tough to kind of predict ahead of time, trying to get some of those thoughts out there. We are right here on the 50-day moving average, so I do think we test and possibly break beneath this. But what do you think we have on deck here for today?
Well, it appears to me that the strength of the market is fading. The price rose out of the gate yesterday, and it tried to recapture that or even test that 555 level that we've been talking about, where all the dip buyers were hiding out. Couldn't even get up there. So the result was that we ended up closing lower than yesterday's close. Even though we had a green candle yesterday, it was a lower. We went down. We closed lower than the day before. We also couldn't recapture the 551.80, the previous all-time high that was providing support the day before. So now it is providing resistance, and that's what it did yesterday. Fortunately, we did close above the 20-day SMA. So that's certainly a positive, but as we can see today, we're going to likely open beneath it. So that leaves the 50-day SMA to provide support, followed by the next previous all-time high, which is 548.62. So I'd be looking towards those two downside levels for support. But in my opinion, I think that this market does need to go lower, and that would mean the filling of the gap that was created between August 14th and August 15th. So that gap fill will start at 548.88 cents. It fills at 544.96 cents. So you have about $4 gap there. That would be the best case scenario for downside today. I don't necessarily think that we'll be breaking down all the way through that unless there's some other catalyst. But I think we might see another sideways day today, similar to how we saw more of a sideways day yesterday. And I don't think that's going to change until we see those Broadcom earnings and the BLS jobs report, which we get tonight and tomorrow morning, respectively.
Okay, really good stuff there. I think you're right. I think probably the big event today is going to be Broadcom. Well, I'd actually be curious to know from the chat if any of you folks are playing Broadcom. We'll see if there's a trade setup going into earnings. Real quick here, Fender Fuchs, I think I'm pronouncing that right. By the way, that is a sweet Fender guitar. Looks like a Strat right there. Sweet guitar. Good morning. It's 1,500 hours here already. So it looks like someone joining us from the UK. Just wanted to say thanks for your stream. You're the most chill guys. One just wants to have a refreshing beer with, unlike most other shocking face YouTubers. So this is, I really appreciate feedback like this. We are not trying to have that shocking face that you were talking about. We're trying to keep it chill. I feel like, at least in my own personal trading, when I stay chill, I do better. And I've heard that from others as well. So I would imagine that that type of environment is the one that we want to create. So I really appreciate you saying that. And also, I don't want to speak for 13, but I've had beers with plenty of people from the chat here. So I would not be opposed to that. Fuka, Fox in German. I appreciate it. Okay. Fender Fuchs, excuse me. Let me make sure. Let me bring this up here so I can actually see it. It's pronounced Fuchs, Fox in German. Fender Fuchs. Okay, awesome. Really appreciate the kind words. Also, Jay's Life. Notoriously, people's gut feelings are usually wrong. Fun fact. That seems anecdotal, but you're probably right about that. My response to that would be, have you ever seen the movie Sunset Boulevard? It's excellent. One of the famous quotes in there is, I make many mistakes. If you haven't seen Sunset Boulevard, you should check it out. It's black and white, but it's a really awesome piece of film. I very well might be wrong today. We'll see how it shakes out. Really good breakdown there on the SPY. Let's talk about some of the movers, of which we have many. And then I want to take some tickers here from the chat. First one we're going to start with is going to be EAST, ticker EAST. It's going to be Echo Alpha Sierra Tango. We do have a catalyst here. The Spirit Makers stock skyrockets 162% in pre-market after announcing a merger with mortgage tech company. Yes, that's not a misprint. You heard this right. We have a distilling company merging with a mortgage tech company. 13, make it make sense, bro.
Maybe they're trying to create a company called Loans and Liquor. I'm not sure, but this is kind of a really confusing merger between two companies that don't really seem like they belong together. Nevertheless, we're moving up over 250% this morning, and this company East has a float of 1.32 million shares. So pretty easy to move this thing up on this kind of news. Now the 500-day SMA is coming up pretty soon with the price here. It's at 292. So we could see some resistance there. As far as levels go, I have a level at 280, which we're slightly beneath right now. We're trying to hold VWAP at the moment, so that'd be the first level to break. We also have 315, which was the pre-market high. After that, 340 and $4 would be my next upside targets in this one. Don't have a whole lot of other data on this, and I didn't dip too into the rabbit hole of why a liquor company is merging with a mortgage tech company. But it is what it is. It's moving today, so we're going to trade it. And those are the levels that I have for this one.
Okay, real good stuff here. Jay saying, reminds me of Urban Outfitters buying a pizza store.
How'd that work out?
Not really sure of the synergies there, but I like pizza. Okay. Anyway, that's what's going on here with East. That's one of your top gainers here, up 258% here in the pre-market. So let's be careful with this when it comes to trading. Next is one of our ex-girlfriends, without a doubt. Set your course for the Hoth system. Hoth is back yet again for trading action here. This was a penny stock that has entered dollar territory here. You see the pre-market chart. You see the high volume. We've seen this what feels like 100 times in the past. Hoth Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company announced data from the treatment of epidermal growth factor receptor inhibitor associated, papulopustular eruptions with its novel therapeutics. That one's a tough one. That one's a tough one. I'm sorry for butchering that.
I believe is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, probably Pepe Postelar. Well done, 13. Okay, so we're getting data here. It's causing the stock to trade up 70%. But again, just keep in mind, we've seen this here with Hoth. Here's an example. Here's a 1 hour chart. Here was the last time Hoth popped. Now, I'm not saying don't trade this at all. And in fact, if this gives us one of the trading setups here, great. We should be able to make some money off of this. But just understand how this stock trades. And if you do trade this and you do get gains in this, don't be greedy. Don't be happy taking your gains. Pay yourself on the way up. The other thing, strategy-wise, with some of these names that behave like this, you can get a couple of little scalps under your belt, and you can kind of get a profit buffer built up. Then maybe you can take a little bit bigger swing there. But just understand what we've seen in the past from this stock and what it's capable of doing here. It is setting up today, given the move here today and the fact that it's got a PR behind it. 13, sorry about the extended rant there. What do you have on Hoth?
So this has a 6.86 million share float. And as far as I can tell, this news is on data from one patient that they tested that treatment on. And it's part of a larger phase 2 trial that's going on. But I think this is just only referring to one person that had this result. So that may not carry as much weight as, of course, a phase 2 being completed and providing results. Another interesting thing about this is that this director, CEO, and president did purchase 25,000 shares last month. So that may also be helping give this a little bit of a lift. But this is a penny stock name that's a biotech, and of course, with these biotechs, they're going to need cash at some point. They're going to. I didn't take a look at the balance sheet. This is an ex-girlfriend. We're just going to trade this just because it's moving. But hey, if this starts to look like it's going to smell bad on the outside, you may have to set your course for the Dagobah system again.
Well done with the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back reference to tie it off. It's almost like you practiced that. That was well done. Real quick, while we were talking here, Astis, ticker ASTS Space Mobile, which we traded yesterday, offering news right now. So that stock down 10% here. We'll come back and take a look at this, but offering going on right now, ASTS. Okay, East and Hoth, there are two biggest movers that we've broken down so far. Next one here is going to be APLD. This is another one that the chat is very familiar with. I feel like we see this all the time. I feel like we trade this multiple times. So we should have a pretty good feel for this. Applied Digital shares are trading higher after the company entered agreements for 160 million private placement financing priced at market from a group of institutional and accredited investors, including NVIDIA and related companies. Tell you what, that PR headline right there reads pretty well. APLD popping 50% here, up just under that $5 handle, doing a really good job staying above its VWAP. This one's a pretty high float here, 13, so it doesn't really fit some of our lower float stuff. But what do you got here, ticker APLD?
Yeah, 132 million shares in the float. As we've seen with some of these other stocks that have a float larger than 100 million, it can not move as well as some of these other ones that have very low floats. Lumen is one such example. So what could happen with this one is we might see some pops throughout the day, but this thing could just leak slowly into the close, just kind of slowly trade down throughout the day. It is quite heavy, even given the news. But the things that are going to help make this pop are, of course, the funding round of 160 million, NVIDIA now being tied to this, and they have a 15% short interest with 4.9 days to cover. That pretty much makes it a short squeeze candidate. So we could see some pops throughout the day, but I think this is one of the ones where you might not be able to set up for it because of how heavy the float is. It may just continue to leak further. So be careful with this one. I think it will provide some trades, but just be mindful of the float.
Well said here. One of the other things we're noticing here, obviously we're trading back down to the VWAP right now. It'll be important to hold that level. Also, that volume seems to be compressing. We want the opposite, right? We want to see that volume expand. We want to see a consecutive volume sticks growing stick over stick. That would help us know that there's some more upside momentum in this one. Okay, next on the list here is going to be SHPH, Shuttle Pharmaceuticals. This actually popped. This traded up in the after hours, and then popped again here in the pre-market. We're actually above yesterday's intraday high. had multiple volume pops here in the intraday yesterday. Shuttle Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company announced the issuance of U.S. patent number 12,077,515, titled Selective Histone, some word I can't pronounce, inhibitors of the treatment of human disease. So does seem kind of general in this one. What do you got on this 13?
So they announced the open enrollment of phase 2. So they are going to need some cash in order to handle that particular part of their clinical trial. But what's interesting is the other stuff that came out at the same time. They did kind of dump quite a bit of information on investors. They did receive orphan FDA designation for their drug. That means that they are going to be it's a drug that's able to treat, prevent, and diagnose rare diseases. So the FDA granted it that designation for that reason. Also, when you have that designation, you get financial assistance, or you're eligible for it, and you're also able to have a market exclusivity for the drug that you're producing. So, orphan drug designation is a bit of an important thing here. They just need to get that product out, and they're just starting phase 2, so it's going to be some time. The other thing is that they regained compliance with NASDAQ. So that's a big thing if we want to keep trading this. They have 1.27 million shares in the float, and they did a 1-for-8 reverse split last month on the 13th. So next step is going to be raising cash. And I don't really think I took a look at their balance sheet. They have 1.4 million in cash. They're burning a little bit more than that per quarter. So I would think that the capital raise is coming at some point soon here with SHPH.
There you go. Really awesome breakdown as usual from 13 there. Let's move on. Next one here is going to be YYGH. This is YY Group Holdings. We kind of talked about this one earlier. I tell you what, this really just kind of feels like a China pump. What do you think on YYG? Okay, so is there really anything else to go over here? Do you got anything of note on this one?
It's got 7 million shares in the float. There's no news. I didn't see anything when I took a look at the company. I went to their website and went to About Us, and sure enough, it's based in China. So with these kind of names that don't have any news attached to them and are running for no reason, that's a China pump.
There you go. With the on that one. Okay, next here is going to be MODD. This is Modular Medical. Someone mentioned this in the chat. Sideshow. I think I might mess around with Hoth and Mod today. Okay. Thinking about it, I missed this comment earlier regarding East. You can take out a second mortgage to finance your drinking problem. Quality joke there. Sorry, I missed that earlier. Anyway, in reference to Mod here, we actually just took out the VWAP here. If we take a look at Mod, we did have some news after hours yesterday. Modular Medical announces a conference call to discuss FDA clearance of the Mod 1 insulin pump. So that's what's going on here in Mod 13. What do you got on this one, man?
I didn't cover this one, but I can just tell you that the float is 19.8 million shares. Short interest isn't of anything of note, and they don't have any reverse splits, any recent reverse splits of note either. So, not quite sure what the big deal is about the clearance of this insulin pump. I don't have any. It sounds like a big deal, but I don't have any other color to add to this. I'm not sure.
Okay. No problem. No problem. We just have just a couple more on the list here that are basically just ex-girlfriends. Webcoin saying Mod might be a swing trade, has great potential. What is that potential you see, Webcoin? I'm interested in that. I'm interested in a lot of these small caps, especially for swings and investment if the story is good. Anyway, moving on here, FFIE, this is all one that we're familiar with. Reverse splitter, pump, pop, run, blah, blah, blah. We're all familiar with this one. What's the thing to note here? 650, obviously a clear upside level. We'll see if we can break above that. Yeah, sure. Maybe the stock could really kind of get crazy if we do break that. If we take a look at an hourly chart here, definitely should have some resistance at 8, maybe a little bit above there, maybe 980 and then $11. I don't know if that's where we're going to get here. Again, very much like Hoth today with FFIE, you're probably best taking gains if you get them. Don't you can always rebuy this thing if you need to. Definitely not an investment. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to FFIE? No worries if you didn't.
No, that one and BOF are just kind of ones I think were worth mentioning that they're moving, but I don't think the news on them is very material. I think these are just relative volume plays.
Agreed. A GNLN, this was another former ex-girlfriend. This popped earlier today and dropped pretty much all the way back, has completely round-tripped itself. Don't really have anything. I guess we had some sales in the after hours yesterday. Anyway, this one was making some movement. We'll see if this sets up. I don't feel great about it. Just wanted to mention it to you folks. All right, let me flip over to the main workspace. We'll go ahead and take a look at some stocks that you folks want to take a look at. And
Shaka mentioning RCAT.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a sec. It's worth mentioning that all of the stocks that we just talked about are already on the relative volume scanner. So look for these stocks to have a day. Two comments that I absolutely have to highlight here. Amanda starts it off. Love the football shirts this morning, gentlemen. Happy football day. It's been a long season, a long off season. Amanda, it has been a long off season, but the important part here is not even who you root for. It's that we made it. We made it as a group. We are back here, and we have your Packers represented here in the chat and on screen. Happy football day. Kayla, I will take football emojis and NFL all day today. We really appreciate it. Happy football day, folks. Okay, let's go ahead. You want to take a look at RCAT? This is a Carmen special, if I'm not mistaken.
It had some news this morning.
So here is your intraday chart for RCAT. This did pop as high as 3. Looks like it came a little back in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I know this might be a little bit difficult to see, so I'm just going to go ahead and read this for you. RCAT closed its acquisition of FlightWave Aerospace Systems, beg your pardon. The acquisition officially brings the Edge 130, FlightWave's blue UAS-approved military-grade tricopter, into Red Cat's family of low-cost, portable, unarmed reconnaissance and precision lethal strike systems. That's a good headline. What do you think here on this 13? And Carmen or Shaka, whoever else is interested in this, definitely interested in your opinion on this stock as well.
Yeah, when they're referring to tricopter, I'm wondering if that's, it sounds like they're making devices that have, or drones that have 3 propellers instead of 4, which is interesting because you saw those in Ready Player One. So if that's anything like that design, that's pretty interesting. And the whole drone angle, this is going to be the future of warfare, and RCAT and AVAV and a couple of others are going to probably end up doing really well in the space. As far as I think this is just moving on the news. I would have to go back and look at the fundamentals again, but this let's take a look and see what levels I have here for RCAT, since we did trade this before. I don't even know if I have any. No, I don't. So I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot of to add on RCAT, but this is a interesting drone play. I could probably look into this some more at some other point and provide some other feedback. But I think Thinking About It has done an excellent job of that already. So I don't really have a whole lot to add.
Yep, all good. The recent move here off this 270 level looks to be pretty good. I would definitely want to hold this. We'll see if we can actually take the next leg up. Top end of this channel here at 330, so it's really not that far away. Wiss, you're asking about DPro. Am I getting that right? DPro. Is DPro a part of that? That's Dragonfly, not Dragon, Dragonfly.
Yes, it is part of that. DPro does have a drone segment.
There you go. Ivan wants to take a look at Broadcom. So, Ivan, the big thing here is we're kind of waiting on Broadcom, right? Ticker AVGO. They have earnings after the bell here today. This is probably the biggest event of the day. At least I'll go ahead and say that here today. I'd be curious to know anyone that's actually trading this ahead of earnings. I don't have an earnings trade on for this. Let me check. I know we will have Anne-Marie on tomorrow, but that'll be too late. Let me see if Anne-Marie put in a Broadcom trade in here. Looks like she was closing some trades for gains there as per usual. Spotify, Coin, trying to help you out with the trade here. I feel like we did this. Here we go. Opening trade alert. This is your Broadcom earnings trade. We got a double butterfly going here, Ivan. So, yeah, I'm curious to know what your thought is here. I'm kind of nervous, I guess is the right word, about tech, especially holding them through earnings. The way that I would actually attack this is the way that Anne-Marie did it. She's playing both sides because because it doesn't really matter to her which way it goes as long as it goes enough. But here you go. If this is too difficult to see, I'm going to be very, very quick and read it. The call butterfly is going to be the 175, 185, 195 with a 68-cent debit. This actually might be cheaper now. Amanda, I think you told us that. The put butterfly here is 135, 125, 115, and the expiry on both of those is the September monthly contract. Let me make sure that's the monthly contract. The one that expires on the 20th of September. I know we're running out of time here. That is indeed the monthly contract. So that's the trade that we have given to us by Anne-Marie going into Broadcom. I would not be against day trading this here today. I'd love to hear your folks' plan on what you think is going to happen here with Broadcom.
I personally think Broadcom's going to end up heading lower. I'd be looking at the 200-day SMA as support. And this is just my opinion. I could be wrong about how the price is going to end up reacting to the earnings. We might even pop, at first and then drop later on. But for me, I think this whole AI trade is really starting to unwind. Broadcom's, absolutely part of that. So I would expect there to be some more downside ahead for Broadcom post earnings. And
okay,
real quick on RCAT.
Yeah.
Folks, if you're looking at for more information on RCAT, Carmen is really providing some great information on that. Take a look at and read that if you want.
Yeah, I was going to read that, but we did run out of time. Carmen, I had asked you for some more context on that, and you did not disappoint and gave it to us. So really appreciate that stuff. You know what? Just in case we get too busy here, I'm actually going to clip this for myself. Okay, great. So
East beneath VWAP, we're open. So Hoth is popping right now. That's trying to push to the pre-market highs. APLD, that's going lower. SHPH, that's also going lower, getting support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute currently. FFIE, that's taken off. That's going to breach the pre-market highs here of 647 in just a bit. BOF trying to decide what it wants to do.
Okay. Real quickly here, Astus, this is popping off of the open too. That's ASTSJ here saying Astus creates management questionability now. Last week, they said they wouldn't need to raise capital. And then look what they did here today. Jay, I think that's a really good point. Good stuff there. Good stuff there on Astus.
All right. And FFIE right on the doorstep of the pre-market highs. APLD, a little heavy.
SHPH dropped and is maybe trying to pop here. Soar, this is a penny stock. I can't even resist. It's soaring off the low. We'll see if it gets to the VWAP there. The China pump's doing nothing yet. Mod so far just holding out at its VWAP.
All right. Yeah, so just looks like East might try to recapture VWAP here.
Carmen, actually, Carmen, I like this. Jay, I'd be curious to know what you think about this. Carmen saying on Astus, waiting for a short seller report. It seems ripe for that. Interesting. Could absolutely see that, Carmen.
All right. Looks like SHPH had a pop after dropping down there. So looks like it's trying to get to the pre-market highs of 346. East is also trying to recapture that VWAP. Currently in the process of doing that. Has some EMAs in the way, though. The 9.
You're getting a pull here on FFIE. Sorry to interrupt you there, 13. Appreciate you, Aramis. You were on that one. Here is East. Looks like this pulled back to the VWAP and went.
Yep, trying to take over.
Trying to go. Yep.
280. That's the wall it's got to get over, and that's also a level I have. After that, 315 and then 340.
All right, and taking a look here at ASTS. Looks like this is trying to bounce off the lows. Maybe it gets back to VWAP. Astus.
Wiss saying
so that was a nice little scalp right there, by the way.
Yeah. Wiss saying B fly still flying. I'll take a look at that. Conga mentioning NDVL. I believe that's
okay. That's going to be your 2x leveraged NVIDIA here. So this is trading to the upside. Let's check in on NVIDIA. I haven't done that yet this morning. Nvidia bouncing off of those lows. Take a look at this. This 104.5, maybe even call it 105. This was defended pretty successfully here. I still think we get a bounce off of $100 if we make it down there, but Nvidia giving us volatility, should be able to trade this in any direction here. You're welcome, Conga. Carmen, no, Nvidia is not under 100 yet, but stay tuned. I think that could happen soon.
So butterfly, B-fly, that's, it's kind of running into some consolidation from December of 22 to August of 23. And that consolidation is going to be between, let's just call it right about where it's at now, 175 to about 265. You're going to see a majority of that consolidation. So what it's going to take is either a big volume spike in order to push through all that, or it's not going to be able to get through it, and we might see it reverse and go lower. It's going to need, you're going to have to watch the volume for this one, because right now it's trying to get through that big overhead supply from previous years.
New insider buy here as of today. This one coming shortly after another one. So Larry Robbins here bought some 8:30, so August 30th, and also 9/4. I beg your pardon, that was yesterday. So 2 insider buys here, driving butterfly here. 175 stacks up 13.5% here today.
Oh, East fell down.
Oh no,
went south.
East went south. No, I liked it. 13. I liked it.
Hoth took off and is now halted.
All right, halted to the upside here on Hoth. All you Hoth players, you guys all get register rings right out of the gate here. This was actually a very technical dip to VWAP and rip.
Oh yeah.
Traded down to that 106 and then bounced.
APLD, it's trying to recover right now, trying to get back to VWAP, having a bit of a time with that. Remember, this has the large float. The MACD looks like it's telling us it may end up go lower and not recapture VWAP at the moment. So I'd be watching for that. If this it continues to go lower, I think you might see support around 380.
Okay, really good stuff there. Amanda mentioning Apple. Someone else mentioned Apple earlier. I think it was during the rundown. Apple has been strong out of the open here. What was that, 13?
No, I saw that too. Of the Mag set, all the Mag 7s are up, actually. Every single one of them. Tesla looks like it's up the most, followed by Amazon.
Let's take a look at Tesla. If that's up, that should be breaking out of. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. We had a nice little pre-market range here. Gosh, you know what I might do actually? Let's see if we can mark this area off. This might be too little too late here on Tesla, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's do it from right down here. Let's mark this channel off. Let's see if we come back in and test that. Looks like about 226 and some change. Tesla, big rip here. Volume looks good. Tesla shares trading higher after the company now plans to roll out a full self-driving driver assistance software in Europe and China in the first quarter of 2025. Tell you what, full self-driving.
Yeah.
This seems to pop the stock. I admit I don't get it. Astis moving lower now, by the way.
I have to take that with a grain of salt, because I've seen so many times that when certain things are going to be ready or available or roll out from the man himself, and sometimes, I don't want to say sometimes, maybe a lot of the time, they don't end up being exactly when he says.
Robotaxi is a perfect example of that, 13. You're spot on. By the way, Amanda here saying 228 Tesla resistance here if you're long. We did go through that, but not much, and it's really kind of hovering here. I think that's a good spot there on a resistance level. By the way, ASTS continuing to move lower here. So the amount there, 400 million, the Class A. I don't think there was a price. Does not plan to offer an FY24. Remember, Jay told you they said they weren't going to do this, and now they did that. So I'm not surprised to see this rolling over and going lower. Really good stuff there, Jay.
The thing about Tesla, and I think I mentioned this yesterday. No, it was in the happy hour tip when I mentioned it. It was trying to break over a trend line on Tuesday, and because of the way the whole market was that day, it failed to do that. Yesterday, it did that, and it got all the way up to the 50-day SMA, tested that as resistance, could not break out of it. Now, we're over the 50-day SMA today, and it's support, and we're breaking through that 226 level that I've talked about previously as well. So this is these are several technical moves happening here that break of the trend that we from the trend line. I don't know if you have it on your screen, but
sorry, for Tesla.
Yeah.
Sorry, I actually flipped away because I saw SHPH is right at the VWAP. Might give us a trade here, but I'm not in it. So let me go ahead and pull up this Tesla chart here. Is this the trend line that you were talking about, 13?
No, this one starts on July 11th at the peak there and
July
draws
18th.
I'm sorry, July 11th.
Yep, I got it there.
And draw it through August 20th peak, and just keep going. And you can see that yesterday we broke over that trend line and closed above it. And now we're continuing up. So this is a resolution of that. We're also above the 50-day SMA. So now that's resistance turns support. And we're breaking through these levels of 226. Next up is 232. We could end up seeing that before we start to get resistance. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with Tesla is we may end up getting to 232, seeing resistance, and then turning around and coming back down. Your point about SHPH, that's trying to recapture VWAP right now.
Let me go back here to SHPH. Here we go. Amanda saying long Tesla now went right through that resistance level. That should now be support. So Amanda, looking like you're long Tesla there. Here is SHPH. It is trying to get through that VWAP, really stopping there. I got that VWAP at 309. And then 330 would be one of those highs it could attack. I would say definitely scale and pay yourself if you take that trade. Might try some of this right here. Right at the VWAP. Okay.
And we're moving.
Hoth is open. We'll take a look at Hoth here real quick. Thank you, Benzinga Pro and BNR for mentioning that. Hoth did pop. Looks like, what, 139? Here comes your pull. Man, this is... see, I'm okay missing some of this. I'll be honest. I'm okay not participating here in Hoth. Let me know how you guys do on Hoth here.
Here comes a recovery pop in APLD, the heavy float one. It's recapturing VWAP at the moment. So the level it needs to get above is $5. And once it does that, then I'd be looking at 529 and 585 as the next upside.
Okay, here you go. Good stuff, APLD. Also, you're getting that move here in SHPH. Here you go, folks. This is going to be a resistance area right up here. I think you're okay to sell some of this, maybe scale out, see if it goes any higher here. Good stuff, SHPH. That's 2 for 2 today after the Astis debacle. Leslie, here's another one that we've seen before. This is ticker LESL. This nice little dip and rip here was not on my radar, but giving us the expanded volume and the move to the upside here that we wanted to see. Hoth suspended again, this time to the downside. Yikes, guys. This is exactly why I don't need to trade this one.
That was actually a really funny episode. Or it's like a series of episodes too that Amanda's talking about with the Star Wars Family Guy.
I'm going to pull a Family Guy and hide out inside Peter Griffin. Yikes, on Hoth. You guys have fun in the cold, though. Hope they smell better on the outside.
You know, Carmen, QBTS is one of the ones I'm watching because there are a handful of these quantum computer stocks that are getting attention. And I think it's because the timeline for when quantum computing is going to be available for enterprises and I guess the general public is kind of getting moved up. They're having some breakthroughs, and we might see quantum computing roll out much sooner than we were expecting. I think the thought was that it's a couple decades or maybe a few decades away, but now we're talking about like 5 to 10 years out. So kind of curious about these quantum computer plays. I think that's going to be the next big bubble.
Yeah, quantum computing, I still feel like that's a little far away, but I too am interested in some of those plays here. By the way, really quickly, I noticed that there were multiple NVIDIA prints on options here. They were the near-term ones that expire tomorrow. They were looking like the 110 and 112 strikes here. So upside bets on NVIDIA on some of those short-term options.
APLD trying to recapture 5.
Carmen saying, yep, it's a very long time out. This is one thing that's important for, story small cap traders. Just because something is far out doesn't mean that there's not something to do there. I mean, if you're positioning yourself in the infancy of a move, that could actually benefit you really well, but you got to be sure on the companies. You got to have a plan just in case it doesn't work. Carmen, I appreciate how onto this with how early in the cycle we are. I would encourage you to continue sharing your ideas on this. That might set off a light bulb for somebody else.
I have one question, Carmen. When we get this corrective move that we're all anticipating, is this kind of going to be a buying hand over fist of QBTS, or do you have a shopping list ready for quantum stocks when we get the weakness that we're anticipating going into the election?
Neo, Neo here while you're waiting for the response there. Neo above the VWAP looks like it might be trying to go. X after yesterday's big time sell off, holding relatively stable there on X. We'll see what happens. That is just some political stuff going on there between Japan and the United States regarding this merger. Let's see. Let's check back in, and our friend asked us here. Okay, it's trying to curl. We've got a ways away from that VWAP. Really, the strength not here until we really get above that VWAP. So if you're going to try any long side trades here, maybe something off the bottom. Be careful, though. Be careful. Jay, really, really good outline there. By the way, Tesla, tons of puts. Meta, same deal. Looks like people trading the put side there. Broadcom also getting some action here. This is actually going higher. I wonder if this goes green here today on Broadcom.
Watching the S&P 500 or the SPY, I mean, it's trying to trade up and over the 20-day SMA, but it has been rejected thus far. Also having a time trying to get over that previous all-time high of 551.80. It's over it right now, but it was having a bit of a time. This could end up being a similar situation that we saw yesterday, where it tries to go for that 555. And then it just isn't able to, or isn't able to recapture it, and then just trades back down.
Man, sorry to interrupt or run you over there. That Astus curl, that was so short lived. We don't have strength here. Something's going to need to change here. New lows here on ASTS. Also, regarding FFIE, Aramis saying, any thoughts on FFIE at this level? Well, this is definitely a support level that we're at. This marks the pre-market support level, as well as the impulse move where we kind of stopped right out of the open there. Interestingly, this was like a VWAP-ish level for a big part of the afternoon yesterday. Look, I don't trust the stock, so it's hard for me to say this is a good buy spot. But looking at the chart here, chart's telling you this is a support level.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm right there with you on IBM. Also, I'm looking at I think this was a stock yesterday that we traded, CNFR.
Yeah, Yep.
This one is having a good morning, up 9%. It just had a pop. It's currently above VWAP after trying to get above it all morning. So I don't know if this is the big move, and then now that it's over. But if there's still something that's setting up here for a trade, I have an upside target of 180.
Okay. East, by the way, good mention here. Motion. This did get back to its VWAP. Now, it didn't go above it. It tried to. Watch for this volume. If this volume turns to expanding volume, we might have something here. We are trading up to that VWAP. Volume's expanding. You tell me, folks, you think this goes through or what? What do you think we do here on East? Good morning, Noah. It's great to see you. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning. We'll check in on Siri and Mara here in a sec. We do have a setup here on East. I don't know if this is going to work.
I think if it doesn't go here, it's going to take maybe another matter of minutes for it to set up and try to break through it again. We might just be seeing like the first rejection, and then it comes back later and pushes through it. Nope, it's doing it now.
There we go. There we go on East. Great call motion, man.
That was
Dude,
a good one.
This is exactly the type of stuff that we want here. Look at this.
It took out that huge wall too. Now this is going to probably halt.
Oh man, motion. Great job right there. This is going to be halted. We hooked one. We hooked one. Yeah, East halted. Boom. Let's see what happens when this opens. So someone asked earlier about a volatility. Man, I didn't. Oh, God, I got barely any on that. Damn, I only got 200 shares on that. Someone asked earlier about how long are halts. So we've had this discussion a bunch of times. Halts can vary in times. Halts like this, volatility halts, are generally 5 or 10 minutes. So we should have we should have a resumption here pretty soon. I'll say if we pop out of this, I'm looking to sell right out of this halt. Yeah, Robert, I am too. I felt that the call by motion was so well timed. I actually felt like I was going to be late. Did get filled, but it wasn't a full fill, just 200 shares. Hey, I'll take gains or gains. You're right. Gains or gains. And I actually, now I'm going to knock on wood. I'm not going to celebrate until we actually close this trade, because if this thing opens up lower, that's going to kind of suck. Motion, that was a really, really great call. That's exactly the type of stuff that we're looking for here.
The whole reason I was concerned about it was that inability to try to recapture that VWAP. And this would have been the third green candle up. If it closed and was unable to recapture VWAP, I'm pretty sure we would have seen this start to trade down. That's why I was worried about this. But hey, that volume came in just like you said.
Yep.
And we pushed it through all those sell orders that were in the way. It's great.
I think what I like the most about this is that we got a call from the community, which is always something that we're looking for. Always, always, always. We got a call from the community. I was able to bring it up before the actual break took place. And we said, okay, we know the level here because the level's being identified by VWAP. But one of the other things that we're looking for here is this volume to expand. And then we got that right after it. And now it's showing you what's possible here with some of these moves. Love that. Love that I didn't get sidetracked here, brought up a different stock, started talking about something else. Love that we focused on this. Love that this worked there. We'll keep an eye on this for the halt tool. By the way, folks, one of the reasons why I add the signals tool with halts, with just halts as its own item here right beneath my chart, is because let's say, for example, like Robert is talking about Hoth right now. That's one of the stocks on our list. Let's say I go over to Hoth. This is curling, by the way. To trade at your own risk here. If I go to look at another stock and this stock opens, I want to be alerted to that right away. And so if I see, if I'm on a different chart and I see East pop open here, I'm just going to click on the ticker and boom, it's going to load the chart right there for me. So this is why I set this up like this for the halts. I know sometimes we trade a lot of stocks that halt here. So another reason why I kind of do this. By the way, just saw Astus fly by here on the new lows signals tool here. Look at this. Jay, your call on this one. Quality. Management trust issues now. Market is telling you this exact same thing. Lower we go.
Yeah, the Hoth is getting mentioned, I think, because we had a VWAP support bounce and it was starting to trade back up. Still looking a little bit weak here.
WHLR. Another halt here. So this, so unlike East, I didn't really have a setup on this one. Huge performance here. I'm not going to chase this, especially given the fact that we're in a winning trade already on East.
APLD had a pop up to 5, came back in, now currently beneath VWAP. SHPH, that's headed lower. Looks like we might see some support around the somewhere in the 250s if this continues to go down. That's where I think we'd see support.
That's on SHPH, right?
Correct.
Let me pull that up here. We'll visual aid here. Here you go. Things rolling over. Again, we kind of talked about this right at the open. Don't be afraid to take your gains on some of these stocks if you get them. Don't be afraid to take them.
Yeah, I'm seeing a mention of LLY, Lilly, Eli Lilly.
Lilly, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Down 2.8% here on Lilly. This is a great trader, guys. I know it's an expensive stock, so it can be difficult, but man, oh man, is this a good trade. This is actually coming into a support level here, 919, 920. Actually, it looks like, didn't it already bounce off that? Yeah, it sure did. Already bounced off that level. Definitely finding some support here at 920. Was there news on this?
Well, as pointed out by our folks in the happy hour chat, this may have double topped.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see any news that would really kind of be driving this, but you're right here on the double top. This is one that we've talked about here. We had multiple attempts to try and break through that high, by the way. East is open. East is open. See how that works? East is open and it's coming back in. And 292 was your high print there. There is some size.
Trying to go higher, trying to hit 315 pre-market high. Next after that, 340.
It's going to try this 292 again, I think.
Hoth trying to push up to 128.
Watch that 292 spot on East. Don't let your trade go red on you either. If it really kind of yanks, don't be afraid to take what you have off the table.
Seeing some red flash on there.
Yep, looks like East is coming back in. All right, gains booked, not as nice as I hope, but we'll wait and see if this sets up and blows through 292. Now that you have a little bit of padding, maybe you can try that. Not over yet on East. Not over yet on East. Maybe now that I've sold it, you folks can all bank twice as hard on it. I'll take that.
Keep an eye on BOF. This has started to move up after it found support after falling in this morning out of the open. MACD looks like it's curling to the upside, and we are trying to recapture VWAP and BOF. There's a wall at $3. If we take that out, we could start to see some fireworks in BOF. Keep an eye on this one.
I appreciate this comment, Amanda. You're definitely going to get some wins out of me too when you talk the benefits of our community. Our group is smart and experienced. I've seen people pay thousands of dollars to watch people who do worse live trading. I love these guys because trade because they love it. It's rare. Indeed. That's actually something 13 and I have talked about. One of the we want to do this to kind of help the people around us. 13, I think I can speak for you on this. We've both benefited from others' help, and it's kind of our job to then pay that forward to others, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I've been given, the knowledge I've been given, listening to other people way smarter than me, I feel like I'm more of a steward to the next set of folks that want to also learn how to trade.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it feels like a responsibility. It's not one that I need to have, but it helps me because I get to engage with you folks, and you guys bring new ideas and new theories to the table, and it changes my thinking. I'm super appreciative of it.
Yeah, and that's actually something by the way, East is going for that 292, guys. Here we go. East.
Gotta take out 3, go to 315.
Let's see if it takes out 3 here. Volume looking good here too. Remember, all about the volume on some of these levels. I know we're paying attention to the price level, but watch that volume stick. Look at this. It's no coincidence that the big volume is causing this to go higher. Let's see if we break this 3 level here. I'm out, by the way. No position right now on East. So if this goes higher, you guys can say I got out of the way for you. Don't be afraid to book these gains, though, on East. You get it. 298, your high print, $3, have some size.
A lot of sideways action at the moment.
Iron sharpens iron. Yes, Gerald, we will achieve peace through strength. Right.
FFIE might be finding support around 5.
That's FFIE?
Yes, sir.
Faraday. Yeah, and I'd also, you're right about this 5 here. I'd also watch this 465 area if it gets down there. APLD beneath the VWAP trying to pop and go above it. East still hanging out right under that 3. East pulling off a little bit here.
I was just looking at APLD too, really trying to recapture that VWAP.
Yeah, they sure are. They sure are. East might not be done, folks. Astus trying to curl again, but I'd be skeptical of that move.
BOF still looking good. It's slightly above VWAP at the moment. Looking for 310. With East.
Yeah, East is coming back in.
We need to see some closes above 280.
Here, let me get that back on the screen here. We could take a look at some levels here together. That was not the time to crap out on me. Come on now. Not now. Not now. We'll get to that story in a little bit. All right. So East, the level to hold here for me is VWAP. We did kind of find some support here around 269. Nice. And maybe even 270. So let's see if we find some more support there. We are making higher lows here. I don't think this 3 spot is out of the question yet.
Robert mentioning Path. They have earnings today after the close.
That's UiPath, right? That's another AI name.
I I think so.
Yeah. And remember, by the way, speaking of AI names, really quickly, not to change gears too fast here. Ticker AI reported earnings last night, got absolutely pummeled. It is up off the lows here. And actually intraday, this is a decent formation. We'll see if it can get above 20.5 and go higher here. But this thing was down. Let's see. It's still down 12%. It was down at the lows 20% earlier here today, 20%. Wheeler dumped into halt. It looks like it's halted to the upside here on my end. Oh, here we go. Trading halt. Okay, so it dumped and then halted again to the upside. Boy, that is all over the place.
Oh, I guess people
What's going on with Hoth?
Yeah, I just
throwing Hoth highs. Who's in the Hoth system right now? That's it. The rebels are there.
All right. Well, do we start the evacuation?
General Veers, prepare your men.
155 next upside target. Currently at a high of 139.
God, we're dorks. I don't even care though. I don't even care. Like it is awesome, and today's football day, and we're good.
I think this is why they come back. They want to see us nerd out.
Oh man, I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case.
BOF, this one I was mentioning earlier that we traded yesterday. This one having a good morning as well.
Yeah, I think Aramis was actually just calling that one. Let me bring it on screen here real fast. Here you go on BOF. Also, what was that? My little high counter there gave me something.
I thought you were about to drop a track.
And I'm not enough. No, dude, nobody wants me to drop bars, believe me. BOF actually above the VWAP there.
FFIE might be recovering. You can keep an eye on that one if you're interested in trading that one. Did you mention that Hoth is halted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think. No, maybe not. It was Wheeler that I mentioned. No, we did. Sorry. East is moving again. Thank you, chat, for staying on top of it. I told you that 3 is probably not out of the question yet, really, until we break this VWAP. And like, I know we're on the backside of this move. The volume is compressing. That's not what we want to see for another move higher here, but it's not breaking down yet. So there's still an opportunity for that volume to expand again, maybe take out that $3 high.
Yeah,
Star Wars puns are always greatly appreciated. Absolutely, boss.
Yeah, it looks like the formation here is a bit of a bull pennant, but the thing is that has me concerned about East is the upper shadows it's putting in for the past 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh man!
But let's see if it can take that out. It's trying to push now.
My cat had the cutest face just a second ago, and I tried to take a picture, and he moved at the last second.
Whatever. Your
Office assistant is taking a nap in his bed. Guys, East here might not be done.
Yeah, and APLD trying to push above VWAP right now as we speak.
Yep. YYGH was saying that this is setting up here, maybe for a move to that VWAP. So I want to thank everyone for being a part of our community and being here today.
Oh, yeah.
You have many options, and you choose to spend it with us, and for that we are eternally grateful. The only thing that I am going to ask of you, and I'm going to do it with some clever little visual aids, please smash that like button. Please smash that like button, and please also subscribe.
All right, so Christopher Beasley saying that second run at Tesla. Looking at Tesla,
let's bring it up.
Let's see if it hit that target that I was telling you about, the 232. Actually, it's almost there.
Oh, it's almost there, dude.
Almost there. So we might see some resistance and some selling as soon as we get up to that point, or maybe slightly over. You can look at to the left and see in July we did
look at market
at that level and tried to push up and could not close above it. So thinks this might be a resistance area, 232.
Look at the market. Look at SPY. We pop in here. 555 should be your resistance point, I think. That's been a support and resistance point. 13, you've been all over that spot for a while now.
Yeah, that's what I'd be watching for is what happens at 555. Do we get rejected or do we blast through it? I'm thinking it's still resistance. APLD, that's pushing, getting close to 5.
Please explain how you have an office assistant when all I have are office overlords. I'm not even close to these cats. Okay, you figured me out, Amanda. You figured me out. He's in charge. Right now he's taking a nap, so I feel like I'm in charge. Also, he's not great at English, so I can say that and get away with it. But you're right. They are overlords. They run the show.
Do you feel in charge?
What did you say?
Do you feel in charge?
Do you feel in charge? Is that Bane?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Wheeler here going higher out of that resumption, 232 now. Whoever hooked this one, guess what? You're getting the trifecta. You are getting the trifecta. Wheeler here really popping.
Yeah, and B-Fly, that was getting mentioned, I forget by who, that now up over VWAP, looking for 174 and 177 to get taken out as they have large sell orders there. So BOF, that has it popped up to what is this? 322, came back in, now getting support from BWAP. Yeah, SPY just having a moment here in this 5-minute candle.
Sure is. In fact, here's the Qs doing very, very similar, or performing doing the same. Sorry, guys. IWM right at the high end of that range. This is actually testing those pre-market highs. Love for this to get above 215. We're above 212 already, so let's see 215 next.
Hoth open and pushing higher, looking for 150.
There you go. Great job here, chat. East, by the way, broke down, went back to the VWAP, and then actually snapped the VWAP. We'll wait for that to set up again. Robert, good morning. I think I've seen you around here. I don't know if I've highlighted anything. Hope you're well. Unity Software here, nice little move back to the VWAP and then higher. You've been talking about Unity. You and Amanda have been talking about this. You're getting a move here today. I'd love to know what you think of this long term. Do we break out of this space? Do we make a run at 20? You tell me.
I'm paying attention to BOF right now. It's the volume's not great in this, but the setup is quite nice. It's holding above VWAP, and I think if just given a little bit more time, it might make a move.
Robert, programming his own trading algos. Go off, King. Go off. BOF 13, you're exactly right. Right here at the VWAP. Might go higher here. By the way, I'm sorry I haven't spent as much time on this. Probably we're not seeing a lot of Lynn and Randy here today because Tesla has just been an absolute monster. This almost 12 or almost 10. Yeah, 10 points peak to trough here on Tesla. We've been, I'm going to have to dock myself a letter grade here. We've been focusing a lot on some of these smaller names, and we are 3 for 3 here today, so that's great. But Tesla here, probably the best trade. A number of our chatters have been on this. Apologize for not focusing this more. This Tesla, great move here. Chris, good to see you this morning as well. Looking for an IWM 218 on a push here. We'd love to see that. We'd love to see that, dude.
SHPH now putting in some new lows for the intraday session. Looking like this might end up
Tesla
going down
calls,
to 250.
dude. Sorry for interrupting you, 13, but boy, there was a lot of Tesla. Some of these were smaller, but man, oh man, those are the 250 calls, the tons of option activity, all on the call side here on Tesla. It is still flowing. Yeah, sorry, 13. I did not mean to run you over there.
It's okay. This was kind of important with the Tesla call, just pushing up through that 232. This could end up going as high as like 235 before it finds some resistance to make it come back in. This is based on how it traded in July. So I'd be looking for this for some weakness pretty soon in Tesla. Maybe come down and find some support around 230, 232. But this has been a big move, and I think it needs to cool off a little bit here.
So Glenn, I kind of like this real quick. Glenn's saying Tesla trade was the 200-day moving average to the 200-week moving average. So here on, let me get you the exact date. That August 28th was the day we tapped that 200-day moving average. That value was at 202 and change. If we flip over to the weekly chart here, you can see 234.91. Let's just call that 235. That is your 200 week. Glenn, this is sweet. I would say that this is a great swing. Look, how often are you swinging stocks from that 200 day to the 200 weekly? That's interesting. I know it. We're looking at a case where it worked out here, and I'm sure it doesn't work out in every case, but this was golden, dude. This was golden.
Yeah, I like that level, and thank you for pointing that out. That lines up with what I was just saying about how we might see some resistance around 235. So if it's going to come from anything, it's going to come from there. This 200 week. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Here we go. APLD approaching its that $5 level, says Jay Summers. Bang, we're right through it. We're also at that pre-market resistance level. We'll see if this pops through it.
Hot pop and drop 150, and now coming down to the 9 EMA.
Sticky in Chicago, says Sydney. Not yet. It's supposed to get hotter today, right? But I got 72 on the thermometer.
There's APLD popping, like you were saying, got over 5. Pre-market high is 529. So I think that's the goal here for the current price action. The next target I have above that is 585.
Boy, we are having a good day this morning, folks. Football is back. Looks like my teammates in the office are happy, getting some good mentions from people. Don't really see any fires to put out. Giddy up, folks. Giddy up.
All right. What are we all looking at right now?
I'm looking at Benzinga Pro because this has done a wonderful job keeping me on track here today. This is 2 days in a row now. And I mean, I feel like I'm completely on top of everything that's going on between the chat and between what the tools that I have here in Pro. I don't feel like I'm missing things. Still gonna go back and shout out Motion with the Chewbacca sound drop here because that East call was so timely and good. Oh,
yeah, well earned. Absolutely. Let us know when you see the next one. Things are kind of looking a little stale at the moment. I mean, kind of waiting to see if ASTS goes lower.
Let me bring that. Good call, 13. I haven't brought that one up in a little bit. I'll tell you what. We're going to give another Chewbacca shout out to Jay Rice here, who really kind of had us. You know, we're watching this. I actually traded this to the long side today. I think I got lucky. But we're actually, you know, we're watching this. Jay, you know, really kind of tying everything together here with the news and what happened last week. And given that, really not surprised to see the performance here. AP, oh, you guys, okay, APDN. Oh, God, we got APLD and APDN. Here we go. APDN, Applied DNA Science here. Big pop. Was there news on this, folks? This was from yesterday. Isotropic testing pilot project in Pakistan. Boy, that is some alliteration right there. This is popping right now. I don't see this popping on news right now. See if we fill this gap up to 146 or so.
Spiro asking
Jason, can we just pretend? I think this is funny. Jason here saying, can we just pretend Wint is the next to pop? Stupid bag holder. This was the losing trade yesterday. This was a stop out on a head fake. Hopefully you're not holding bags that are too heavy. I don't know if this one's going to pop here. This was kind of a rough setup.
So Spiro Bill, regarding Nike, one thing that I have here is, I've got 2 levels. I have 80 and 85. And when we had this rally, starting in the middle of August, we ended up getting right up to just past 85. I think the high that we ended up getting was 85.39. 85.43 before we started coming back in. So we're down to this 80 handle right now, getting some support. The thing that I need to see next is I need to see this recapture of the 20-day SMA, because we are now 2 days beneath that. I don't want to see another day or two beneath that, because that could mean that we end up losing 80. Long term, I like this company. I know that there's a lot of concern about the headwinds with this company in China, but I think that because of how large the economic moat is for the company, that they're going to end up doing fine later on. This is one I'm currently in right now, and I intend to hold it for a while.
It's 13. I'm sorry, man. I must have went on a spacewalk right there. What's the ticker that you're talking about?
Nike.
Oh God, NKE. NKE. This was a Zoltan special, by the way. Easy Mike saying in a Lily trade too, Walter and Beach Bum. Mike, what is your Eli trade and thesis? I can bring that up here. I'm interested in trading Eli. We did come off the 917 bottom there. Looks like we're coming back to VWAP here on Lily. Let me know though. I'd be curious to know.
No problem, Spiro Bill. And one last thing, just watch for that gap to fill that we created on August 14th and 15th. Kind of got support from the 80 handle. So we didn't quite fill that all the way, but that doesn't mean that we still can't fill that and then bounce. I'm just really concerned that it's not currently recapturing the 20-day SMA. That's going to be a little bit important for me. It looks like we may see some more downside coming up with Nike. What are we all trading right now? Looks like the market's kind of like just coming in a little bit with a lot of these. APLD, though, on the other hand, is trying to push for that 529 pre-market high.
Here we go on APLD. Easy Mike addressing me as the director of customer happiness. LOL, by the way. I do try to make everybody happy, though. It's a lifelong endeavor. New data here. So are you long? I don't think you said what you're doing here. I think you said it was a short. Can't remember. Help me out. Or are you adding on the weakness for a long side trade? That would make sense.
Yeah, Amanda, I think you might be right because I'm looking across these movers and things appear to have slowed down. Let's take a look at the broader market and see what that's.
By the way, that pop that we saw on SPY, Chris called it out in real time when the futures really kind of dumped, but they retraced that move right back down to 151 here. We didn't quite touch 555 either. So
yeah, and it's still early. So this, I don't think that this is, the big upside move for the day. It might be, but I don't feel like it is. Like there might be something coming later. So kind of have that expectation that we might not be down. I think as soon as we start, getting down into the consolidation from this pre-market and going lower than that, that's when I think we can start saying that, yeah, this might be the high might be in for the day. So just kind of watch and see what happens. I'm not going to make any S&P or SPY trades. I just want to wait and see what happens. What else are we looking at?
Hoth pulled back here, and this actually giving a potential setup for anyone that's trading Hoth.
It's starting to move up a little bit. Any opinion on Verizon for a day trade if it retakes VWAP for a swing? Now let's take a look at Verizon because I know that they had some acquisition news going on.
That was the fiber one yesterday. By the way, speaking of Benzinga Pro and its greatness, I'm going to go right back to you, 13. I'm sorry for cutting in here. But yesterday, this was the news that fiber ticker FYBR got halted. The news was that there's a merger coming here. This was squawked. This one squawk trade could have made your entire day yesterday. So for those of you that have Pro or are thinking about Pro, check out the squawk because this could have been it yesterday. Now, real quickly here, 13. I am going to go back to Verizon. East is being called in the chat. That broke a back above. We'll see what happens here on East. But 13, we got to get your Verizon thoughts in here.
Well, let's see what the technicals look like right now because I think that was what I was getting asked about. Let me take a look at the day chart.
Oh, here. Okay, yeah. Let me get you a daily. No problem.
The thing that was concerning for me is that if you look at a daily chart, we can see that we seem to have triple topped. The tops being from January 31st, April 4th, and then yesterday. Had that news not come out, we might have been able to go higher. I don't see a reason why I would have pulled then. But this news on an acquisition of Frontier Communications, that's pulling this down to the 50-day SMA. The great thing is that the 50-day SMA is providing support for the time being. I'm not too fond of the MACD right now. That looks like it wants to indicate that the price might be going lower. But if we lose the 50-day SMA, then I'm going to be turning to the 200, and we might see some support. I still think that this company has a lot of great catalysts going forward. And here's one interesting thing that I noticed with that acquisition as well. Frontier Communications got a grant. I believe it was like 26 million or 27 million, something like that, to expand their network. So really, really interesting to have that company get a grant, and then Verizon immediately closed the deal on an acquisition. So basically,
free
Verizon,
money, baby.
free money, yeah. So yeah, I agree with Jay Bryce. I've never heard anything anybody ever say anything good about Frontier. Verizon's a different story. I've heard both sides, but Frontier, I've never heard anything good about. I don't think it's the whole point of them picking up Frontier is because they want to get into cable. I think it's because they want their infrastructure.
Yeah, that's well said, 13. I think you're spot on there. By the way, really quickly here on East, might not be over.
Yeah, Verizon's a very, very attractive dividend. So
yeah. And Amanda here kind of adding some to this. My guess is that Verizon would not have qualified for that grant, and being accepted was a condition of this sale. That would actually make sense as well. Yep. They had Becky talking to what's his name? Hans? What's the CEO's name? Oh God.
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, let me try and get it here real quick. I never remember this guy's name. I'll know it when I see it here.
Hans Eric Vesper.
Hans, it was Hans. Die hard. I should never go against my gut there. Becky was talking to him this morning about that. She didn't really get around this. They didn't really kind of touch on this, but I would imagine that would be part of it.
BOF, I mentioned earlier, that's making new intraday highs. It's just very slow moving.
East back down to the VWAP. Volume also on this is shrinking. Each volume pop is lower highs on that. Here's BOF 13. Sorry.
The big interesting aspect for Verizon is this also the interesting thing for me with T-Mobile and AT&T. Mostly Verizon and AT&T because of their dividends. When we get these rate cuts, I think they're going to be pretty attractive plays. They're going to end up yielding more of an annual payout than you would going through like a high yield interest account or
BOF going
or bonds.
This was a monster call, 13. You were on this one.
No problem. And the thing about the whole communication sector is, I believe, and I think maybe even Anne-Marie mentioned this too, we're going to see rotation out of Google and Meta and into some of these other names like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. I think that's what's going to end up happening as far as the communication sector goes. Looks like it just got...
Yes, Amanda, it is shrinking. That is good. That is well done. And that is all. I'm going to consider that a Seinfeld reference, which means you get a 1-up. You have leveled up. Not over yet here, though, on East. By the way, GitLab, this was a really good trade from yesterday. This was just an intraday trade. This actually continued. So we'll move back down to the VWAP, and a reload actually gave another trade into today. Your GitLab chart. We are at a resistance area. Pop above 60. I think this goes higher.
J-Rats, I think maybe the smart money has done that. I'm not so sure that retail has. So we may end up getting some more of that on the back end after the retail realizes that these are the ones they want to be in following the rate cuts. I don't disagree that the market has built it up a really good amount, to be honest. But I also believe that has to do with the dividend yield from it being so low last year. Not the yield, the price of the stock.
APLD, maybe we take out this high here. What do we call this? 520? APLD?
B-Fly sure looks like it wants to make a move, but it needs that volume to expand.
YYGH going for its VWAP right here. We'll see if it gets rejected again. By the way, Apple, I know some of you folks were looking at Apple earlier. Here is AAPL. Apple at the highs. We'll see if it takes out that 225 and moves higher. Oh, God. Oh, this is Lacey. I thought that was Lucy for a sec, coming back for some more.
BOF finding a bit of a resistance at 333. That's one of the upside targets I have here. The next one is going to be at 362, which is the pre-market high. Not sure if we'll break through that or not, but that's what I think we could end up getting to before we start to see some real weakness in BOF.
SQNS going again. I don't see, that's not on my scanner here. Let me bring it up though.
Line Atlas saying PDD short. Yeah, you know.
Oh God, Robert.
That this thing is going to be probably bad for a while. They just I think there was news like a day or two ago, maybe it was yesterday. Yes, the U.S. demands a probe into Shein and Temu over deadly baby products. I think. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like a very big deal because it's just like one set of products that they're going after, but I think as soon as the probe starts to, the probe might reveal a lot of things about those companies that are not great, and we could see some more fallout from that. I think PDD is a short, like you said. I think it's a bad company.
PDD does look, to me, at least this daily chart here, sure looks like the next leg down is about to take place. We'll see when it breaks down. Hoth still holding above the VWAP. Mod below its VWAP. Unit is an absolute unit and keeps trying to trade to the highs. Spirit Airlines, $2.61 stock. Nobody's surprised about that.
That was a great mention on APDN.
Did I miss that one here? Looks like I did. Let me bring it up here.
It's still ripping.
Oh, sorry for yawning. Christopher mentioning Avago, Broadcom up 6 handles off the low. We'd asked about that earlier. The first move was down, but man, oh man. Can we get above yesterday's intraday high? Is this foreshadowing of the earnings print that we're waiting for here today? Also, Jay Rice mentioning regarding NVIDIA. I know he's talking about some of the levered products here, but we'll start with the NVIDIA chart. NVDA here. This has been nothing but up from the open here. Jay, your point earlier about people not really allowing this to go lower, totally get it. And I think that's what you're seeing here today.
Yes, Line Atlas, they do. And thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. Keep an eye on BFly. This is still moving up. 179 is the intraday high. BOF, that's coming back into VWAP. Watch for a bounce there. If we don't go any higher than the high that it just put in intraday, I mean, that would, I guess that is what it is. But I still think that it's going to try for 360 or 362.
Seeing more Tesla calls as that prints 235. Tesla just been an absolute monster here today. FFIE testing 5. See if we break down here.
And it looks like APLD, that heavy float one from this morning, that one looks like it's really trying to get above this 520 level and stay above it. If we break above that level, it looks like it could run to 585.
Good stuff here today. Amazon highs.
You know, Christopher, I kind of feel like that's what we're seeing. I completely agree with that. We're going to get this run up into the AVGO earnings, you know, and then in the after hours after they report, maybe we'll see a big pop, and then it just comes right back in. Who knows how it's going to trade? I mean,
and does it sell off after the earnings number? Remember, it's not so much the number. By the way, great mention here by Shaka. No surprise to hear Shaka throwing out a good mention. Here's Lumen. This is a prior runner that's really kind of struggled recently. Great formation. Nice little up move yesterday. We actually just took those highs out here on Lumen. Here's your 15-minute chart. You are going to have some resistance here right in that 6 handle, maybe 6 to 620. But Lumen looking pretty good here. There's something else that I was just going to mention before talking about Lumen, and I got lost. Damn. Sorry about that, folks. Getting old, man. It sucks.
You have to start writing things down.
Yeah, just can't do that. Not while I'm doing 8 billion other things. 553 on the SPY, by the way. So that dump in the futures got immediately bought back up. Well, maybe not immediately, but shortly after, bought right back up. Let's go to a 1 minute so we can see that a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, might be pulling a little bit again too. We could see some volatility.
Ryan, just wait. It gets real fun in your 60s. I got a little bit of time for that. Less time than you think, though. It's amazing. I can't, I was just thinking the other day, how in the hell is it September? I mean, I'm not complaining, especially with football starting today, but I felt like it was I literally felt like I just came home from Luke's house watching the Michigan National Championship, which was in January. And it is September. Time flies when you're hanging out with a sweet group of people.
I think that must be what it is. I mean, we've been having so much fun all year. It just time is just flying. Hopefully it slows down for this football season.
Football seasons never seem to slow down. It's like it's week 1, everyone's happy. You blink, it's week 10. You blink at the playoffs. You blink, the Super Bowl's over, and you're like, what happened? I mean, that's how it goes for me anyway.
That's a weakness.
Chicago Realtor, you want to take a look at Redfin. This is another one that one of our chatters in Happy Hour just had an amazing call on. Oh my gosh, the volatility here. Okay, so Redfin had this expanding, this is a daily chart, expanding volume pop up to this $12 level or just about there. When we were here, our Happy Hour gentleman called a short here on a regression back to the mean. We got that for a couple of days. Then we got this pop, and now we're really kind of back down here. Your question here has been making crazy intraday high moves with above average volume since August 23rd. Can you review it? Looking at this chart here, I almost think that this might test some levels in the 7s, to be honest with you. Kind of have that feeling here. I think this continues to pull back here. I would have that volatility, that popping back and forth. I would really like to see some continuation. Joel and Dennis were kind of touching on this earlier, saying how difficult this market can be to trade when there's no direct trend, right? Things seem to chop around and change from a day-to-day basis. That goes for the broader market, but that also goes for individual stocks. Looking at this chart here, I'd be inclined to say we roll over and maybe test the level in the 7s or 8s. Maybe it finds some support at 8.
Yeah, if we are going to get into a little bit of a more bearish market, even if rate cuts are coming, I'm not sure I'd want to be, in or holding a company that still loses money, and that's what Redfin does. I know the theme is pretty strong. We're going to get lower rates. We're going to have the, home buying is going to pick up as a result, and that we might see some of that. But one of the things we've been talking about a lot in the Happy Hour chat is affordability is still a big problem, and the rate drops aren't going to change that.
Indeed. Also, Easy Mike here mentioning even with the changes to how sales are paid, that's the other thing. The National Association of Realtors and that change here, we actually bring on a real estate expert to talk about how that's going to affect things. And she's not even 100% sure. Doesn't see a lot of positives coming from that.
Taking a look at something here because Lion Atlas mentioned silver going higher, trying to catch up with gold.
How's Lion Atlas doing today?
Just ask him.
I did.
Okay. The thing about silver gold ratio is that it's still pretty high historically. So yeah, I can definitely see silver trying to catch up to gold still. All right, what are we looking at now? Looks like ASTS may have found a bottom.
Let me go back to my main workspace here. Sorry.
Let's see if it can recapture VWAP. That's going to be the next thing I'd want to see.
Webcoin. We'll take this 5N. Ticker FIVN. This at the lows of the day. Webcoin saying bear cave report is out. Don't see that here in the news feed. You know what? assuming that that is correct here, really good shout. Breaking some news with us, Webcoin. Let's see if the Twitter streets have that locked in.
Wow. And they just had a Truist Securities give it a buy and a $65 price target. Wonder what the thought here with this one. There we go. Now it shows up the Bear Cave issues report.
There it is.
Problems at XIII. So Bear Cave. That's one that we're going to wait.
Here's the report.
Right?
Here's the report, by the way.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the short, the price to go down, and then we're gonna trade it to the upside, because these Bear Cave reports, they're not the greatest of the short reporters, are they?
Yeah, Charlie just squawked it here. David, awesome. I don't have him on, so I appreciate that. XIII, this was a 90s name 2 years ago. Where were they then? Jay saying that short report maybe should have come out a little bit earlier. What do you think on Bear Cave here, Jay? Is this one that you like or don't like? The Bear Cave believes 5-9 management is lying. Let's dig in.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was thinking, is there no Hindenburg. Lion Atlas, I do like Micron. I have owned them before. And I kind of feel like the downside might not be done. And the reason I say that is because the 50 is coming down with authority near the 200-day SMA. If that doesn't start to get recaptured, I'm talking like the 50 doesn't start getting recaptured pretty quickly here, which would make it at 110. This is going to death cross. And I'm thinking that this might be a signal for the price to go lower. I think we might have a date with the 500-day SMA, maybe $74.50. Yeah, so I think I'd like to own Micron again, but I think I'm going to wait.
Webcoin saying Bear Cave, no Hindenburg. Jay Rice saying Bear Cave is so, but they have made a few good calls. So looks like Bear Cave kind of in the middle there, not on the great end or the terrible end. Looks like kind of in the middle.
I'm sorry I'm in your head, Amanda.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I'm in your head. Yeah, I like the company. I think they're great. I just think there may be some more downside ahead. Not to say that this isn't a bad place to start picking it up and adding. I mean, if you're looking for this for long term, you'll likely end up doing really well. I have enough tech, so I'd want to wait for a little bit more of a discount before I get into this one. It might not, but I think we're getting some bearish indicators here, and I'd want to wait and see. It's beneath the 20, 200, and 50-day SMAs. It does look like it's getting like kind of double bottoming, so we'll end up seeing if that's what's happening here. But if the Broadcom earnings end up causing the Qs to go south again, well, I think MU will do the same. But with your plan, it seems like that's going to work out just fine, because if you're planning on holding for a long time, then this is the weakness you want to start getting into.
Sorry, I was just watching a conglomerate of clips from Hard Knocks. Comment here, Chris. SPY activity on the 15-minute. Let me actually bring that up here real fast. SPY activity on the 15-minute looks like a thin market, something we usually see during summer trading, but I've assumed we've had a decent amount of volume coming back to the market. Well, let's take a look here. Still kind of looks, I mean, maybe we had these 3 days here this week. Excuse me, these 3 days here this week. Actually, this day was Friday. I don't know that the volume has really kind of come back here. One of the things we've been observing is the average volume has really dropped from nearly 100 million down here to 50 million. Today on the SPY, we've only traded 9 million shares thus far. See where we finish up here. Definitely still feels thin. To your point, though, this should start filling up pretty soon.
Yeah, ASTS is trying to return. It's making its move to get back above VWAP. Hasn't recaptured it quite yet, but it's right there. BOF is a slow mover, but it's been pretty consistent. Trying to get above that 333 level I mentioned earlier, and then if it does, it can make its way to 362. East side is still trying to get back up and hold above 280.
That look, I said that this wasn't done. This has not. Keep this one on your radar today, because I do think a 3 test and pop here might be on deck. We haven't really seen this break down. Even when we've broke through the VWAP, we've actually recaptured it in fairly short order. So still think there are some trades on here. Matt here saying that it's holding above the VWAP. Indeed. Indeed. And until we see this tell us, hey, no, I'm done for the day, still in play here. Still in play here. $9 million shares at 10:30 a.m. is pathetic. I'm on my phone, so I can't check all this stuff. No worries, Chris. We got your back here. That's what we're here for. That's what we are here for.
Yeah, it certainly does look like things are slowing down. Let's see what's going on with the SPY. It looks like that's lower now as well. And I guess I would consider that more of a consolidation, but it does look like it's a bit weak. Hasn't even been able to get up to 554 yet.
What are my trader buddies talking about? APLD.
Hoth wants that VWAP again.
It took it. It just retook it.
Yeah. I need to see this current candle close. It's got 5 seconds left in it. And if it closes above it, we might see some more upside. That is some contention right there. Close beneath it. Trying to push though. We'll see. SPY coming down some more. APLD finally popped. New intraday highs, 543.
Yep. I'm kind of watching that right here.
And I got to go to XIII since Carmen was mentioning it.
XIII. We haven't checked on that today. I'd be happy to.
It's like my suffix.
A nice little grind higher here. Take care of yourself, Fairchild. Thanks for your support. Thanks for joining us here today.
Absolutely. What's going on with this? Apparel. And this might be a squeeze. 12.2% of the float shorted and 10.19 days to cover. That puts it in that category.
Yeah, that's big.
Wonder where those shorts are covering at. Let's take a look at a chart.
Real quickly, while 13 brings up the chart, you know what? I'll try and do this too here so I can give you a visual aid, 13. But while you're doing that, gives me a chance to mention no interview today. So we're going right to 11 o'clock. We do have a webinar after that you should check out. Join us for an electrifying webinar where industry leaders and automotive visionaries reveal the cutting edge trends and breakthrough innovations shaping the future of mobility. That's going to be coming up next year at 11. Lots of exciting interviews and insights, including an exclusive interview with Stephanie Link. Be sure to check that out. That's coming up after us. We are not cutting your show short here today. Nope, not today. All right. Did you have levels that you wanted to go over here, 13?
I was just looking at GII to see where maybe the shorts were trying to cover. It looks like maybe around 27 could have been the level. But I'm just kind of speculating based on what I'm seeing from the price action. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm just kind of curious to see where all the movement came from. All
good. Just figured I'd bring up the chart here. I've got all my moving averages on that bigger chart. It's set up for a daily and a monthly.
Nice move over the 200-day SMA for XIII, but the top might be somewhere around 3150 just for the day. Don't know if we'll end up going higher tomorrow or not tomorrow. It looks like it's really starting to turn around. But yeah, if we can close above this 200-day SMA, that'd be good for more upside. Looks like APDN is trying to hold VWAP, but it's currently losing it in the process here. East still not able to get above that 280 and close.
East is having trouble going north, you're saying?
Yes.
IVP penny stock is spiking here. ABUS at VWAP, SHPH, that was a disappointment here today. My goodness.
That one's down to, down to around near the close of yesterday. That's kind of where it bounced off of, was yesterday's close.
Wheeler's flagging here.
Shaka has a nice one there. Stay green.
I'll take it. Gives me Tony the Tiger vibes.
BOF trying to break out of that 333 level now.
Because what's going on in DSY? This is Big Tree. We were talking about this one recently. That was halted and resumed much lower here. It's down 43% today. DSY, what is going on here? Wow, what is going on here? This is halted now to the upside. Is it? No? Halted.
No, it's off to the downside.
No, no. Look, it resumed, opened way lower here at 3, immediately popped and is now halted again.
Gotcha.
That wasn't even open. That was open for 24 seconds, guys. Sorry.
Let's see here.
Why is my math so terrible? 23 seconds. DSY was open for 23 seconds. Boy, I hope you had a trade plan on that one.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyone trading this one? Does I feel like this is Big Tree. Didn't someone mention this recently? I feel like we've talked about this one recently. Big Tree Cloud.
It might have something to do with the valuation. I mean, the market cap of 350 million. Look at the balance sheet on this. Why is it worth so much? Why is it worth so much? I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know about this one. Oh, here we go. From August 9th, might be telling us some clues here. Big Tree Cloud faces NASDAQ compliance challenge. It receives NASDAQ notification regarding minimum market value deficiency.
Traded DSY for a few weeks. Okay, Crow, do you know what's going on here? Just a kind of a big fallout there. We'll see what happens when this unhalts. Maybe there's a bounce in there. It seems risky to me. I'm not in it. Just saying.
It was a SPAC? Really?
VIX down here at 1983. Costco selling off. Amazon at the highs. Actually having a good day. Good day on day trades. Good day on swing trades. I'll take it.
So what was the SPAC name is what? Destiny Media Technologies or no, that's not it. That's a different company. What is this? What was this before?
I don't know. I don't know anything about DSY.
No. Yeah, I'm just move on. I don't know anything about this, and I don't have a whole lot of information. And it's so new that there's no, income statements unless you're looking through some of these older forms. Older SEC filings. Okay, so SPY now coming back in. We're really losing altitude here.
Let me bring that up. You're right about that. East, again, still not done. Might be a pop in there later. Going to try and time it. We'll see if we're, oh, for heaven's sakes, Ryan, click on the right thing. Just aim.
All right. BOF getting as high as 345. Slow grinder, but been pretty good this morning.
Speaking of getting high, where is Wisdom? Well, where is he? How's he doing? Can we do a wellness check? Like, we miss our friend here, even if he is getting absolutely baked. Absolutely just
baked.
I like that word. I tried to throw two words together and failed.
No problem. Baked. I thought he was on vacation or he went somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I thought he was taking a some time off.
Someone help us out. Put up the pot leaf signal and see if you can call Wisdom back to the show. I'd like to make sure he's doing all right.
Yeah, somebody say 420. Oh,
SPY
wow, look at this
550 here.
Yeah. Look at this drop in SPY, yeah.
Yeah, volume really kind of picked up here. Don't really see anything else on the wire that would kind of go with this. Just looks like just trading action here. Big reversal.
And what does Tesla look like now? Is it coming back underneath 232? Yes, it has. So,
Apple backing off of its highs.
let's take a look at the mags. Tesla still a big winner, followed by Amazon. Nvidia up 1.77% at the moment. Looks like the one that's up the least is going to be Microsoft. Market weakness.
B Bio, that might go higher here. That's actually a decent intraday chart.
APDN getting support from the VWAP might try to push back up. Might be worth watching. BFly lower, BOF, man. I think it'd be about time to ring the register on this, unless you think it's going to break out of 362 and go higher.
DSY open here. Let's bring it up on screen. Wow, this rolling back over to the lows. And this thing looks thin. Boy, 30-cent spread between those prints. Is that right? Yeah, back to the lows. Here we go.
7 million share flow.
350. Man, this is all over the place.
Well, if you're trading that, I hope you don't
Good
get
luck.
killed.
Yeah.
Luck. Yeah. Looks like East getting a little bit of an injection in volume, starting to whip around a little bit there. Still needs to get above that 280 and make some multiple closes. Got one, and then the next candle went right down. Well done, Glenn.
East, man, East just went from 333 to 369 in 4 seconds.
Well, maybe it fills that gap and then reverses.
I mean, it is spread. I'm looking at the time and sales here. There are people trading 3 shares at a time of this $3 stock. 2 shares. This is extremely thin.
Great mention on VC, Wiss.
I had that up here, but I took it off screen when DSY opened. Let me go back to VC here. See, this is much easier to trade, I feel like. Spread tightening up a little bit on DSY.
Wiss also mentioning IVP. That one was an ex-broken we've traded a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah. That was actually on the scanner earlier.
What is this just like? As soon as it goes under $1, is that like your signal that you should start buying it? Is that what is happening with this one?
With which IVP?
Yeah. I guess it's just the first time it's been under $1. I thought it was under $1 before too.
Oh, man. DSY just had a 391 bid. 1 share traded at 385. $4 bid now, it looks like. Tell you what, this DSY, there's something going on here. I don't know.
This might drop again in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this. I'm watching the action. I'm calling the action here. I'm going to be very, very clear. I'm staying away from this. Oh my God, RVSN is back. Rail Vision, 45-cent Rail Vision is back.
Oh, well, let's take a look and see where my levels were from the last time we traded this. I'm sure they're way far away.
It is.
Way far away.
Folks, while he looks that up, 8 minutes until we start that webinar. Also, would love to know, who do you guys got tonight, Ravens or Chiefs?
So yeah, my rail, my levels for Rail Vision started 148, basically $1 away from here. So
yikes!
I don't even know what's going on with Rail Vision. What's the news? If there is any. Oh, they got a patent.
AI-powered railway obstacle detection system, revolutionizing rail safety. Well, let's just get some more hyperbole added to that. I mean, revolutionize.
It should be doing much better than this. Apparently, the AI mention is not enough these days. Because they have there's 4 headlines that I see there, and they all say AI based. That used to have that used to carry a lot more weight.
Hectic saying he's got the Chiefs tonight. I got the Ravens, so we're 1-1. Might be just wishful thinking because I root against the Chiefs.
Amanda, you enjoy that babysitting session, and well done on your Tesla trade.
Well done. That Tesla move was big. But Amanda's trade plan, bigger.
Yeah, it certainly does look like Hoth wants to try to go higher there, but that 128, that level needs to get taken out. Fortunately, we're seeing some support from VWAP, but I just don't like those upper shadows that these candles are producing at the moment.
Scott votes for the Chiefs, said he'll be at the game. Scott, that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and give you a Chewbacca yell for that. Enjoy the game, dude. And help us kick off the NFL season. Tom V has the Ravens. Love it.
SMCI keeps going down. Don't think that was, I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I don't think that's too surprising given the strength of that short report. And then,
I think we're waiting on a 400 snap, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course they had that non-filing of their earnings. That I don't think I've ever seen like something come out like a short report come out a day ahead of something like that. That was just incredible. So yeah,
did we get any headlines about their checking out their accounting and everything being tip top? I don't think so. The analyst was saying that ignore the noise, stock could triple. I mean, look, we saw the stock triple from where it was at. So let's see if I can get a name here. Rewind back to mid-July. Still don't know how the stock's out there. This is a analyst here. I don't have the name. Let me see if I can find that.
Ignore the fact they didn't file their earnings. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not going to ignore that.
The article was written by Marty, but I don't know if we're going to hold him to that because I think that to this end. Here. Chakshi. Nihal Chashki. Chakshi. I am probably butchering this poor man's name. It is not intentional at all. I'm just struggling. An analyst ranked the top 1% of Wall Street stock experts. Really good reputation here. Says this is, quote, very attractive entry point, end quote.
For SMCI?
Yeah, that's Neil Chakshi.
I mean, I'm kind of with folks here in the chat saying that there's more downside. I don't think this selling is done. I mean, look, they just death crossed. That's, I think it's going to go under 400, I think, and close under 400.
Let's see if we've got ratings here. 4 minutes, by the way, to the webinar. We might be graced with Zunaid's lovely presence prior to that, but I don't know for sure. Let's see if I can find that analyst in here real quick. Amanda, that analyst lives under a bridge somewhere. Maybe he's drawing some blood. Red Hot Chili Peppers fans? I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if I can add that analyst name on here and see if... No, yeah, Nihal. Okay, so he's from Northland. He's from Northland Capital Markets, and he has a $1,300 price target outperform rating that was issued in March 25th of this year. So he is defending his existing analyst call from March.
From March, when it was, let's see, when the price was still over $1,000.
Yeah, when 1,300 made sense.
When it was easier to make a call like that. I think that's. I think he's. I think he's just smoking the opium.
Well, if he's under the bridge, maybe he's doing a lot of other stuff that's not kosher. Again, you have to be Red Hot Chili Peppers fans to get that one.
I'd love to know his time horizon on that because I mean, maybe next year it something happens and the AI rally comes back. But at the moment, with that late filing and the Hindenburg, yeah, I think there's more downside ahead.
Yeah, Jay here saying Rail Vision, good luck. Doubt this is coming back. Looks like a waiting for Mullen. That's like waiting for Mullen to come back. Beg your pardon, Jay.
Oh, look, ASTS is really coming back now. Just had a pop through VWAP.
All right. This is why we don't take these off our screen. Or that is, man, you're right about that. That was good.
It looks like a lot of these, like B-Fly, APDN.
I always interrupt when he's speaking. This time I didn't say anything. Sorry, 13. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
And I saw you. I said something. I backed off.
You're good. Go ahead. Finish your thought, 13.
Oh, I was just talking about how like a lot of the names we were trading this morning, they're all starting to come back. And Hoth is another one. Who was looking for Hoth to get up to a certain level? I think you're getting your wish. But yeah, some of these are coming back a little bit. That's really all I had to say. What do you got for us, Zunaid?
Well, so I'm going to quickly give a trade idea, and then I'm going to hop and talk about the webinar here. So I've got a video here. I've been waiting to play this one. We had puts thanks to Ross Givens, who had 110 puts in November. So we made 100% on those, sold those. Now I'm waiting. If we pop above this 110 level, I'm looking to go long. If we break down below 104, I'm looking to go short. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But in terms of what's coming up, we've got an automotive, EV, lithium ion batteries, energy sector. So different conversations around how you can tackle not just EV, but also the thing behind the thing as well, where some of this technology, you can use it in various, industries and infrastructures as well. So we'll start things off with Dr. Ferris, who is the CEO of Dragonfly Energy, and then we'll continue. Awesome. And we also got Stephanie Lake coming back as well, so conversations with her. And so, yeah, should be fun stuff, man. So if you guys have ever wanted to be like, all right, yeah, we know Tesla, yeah, we know Rivian, yeah, we know Ford, yeah, we know GM, but what are some other ways that we can maybe play this, some under the radar type things? That's what this webinar is about, and we hope to give you that insight. I got to bounce. I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Well, aren't you starting the webinar? It's time to go.
Yeah. I think you say bye. I'm going to go there. So you got 10 seconds to say bye. He just yeah,
I was going to say, okay, well, 13's out. Bye. Go Bears. Bears.
See ya. Bye, guys. We're going to end the stream now.